Aloha boys and girls, welcome to 2019 and welcome back to the TueZday Garage. That's right, we are back in the TueZday Garage. I'm telling you what, 2019 proves to be an incredible year. There is a lot going on this year. Too much to talk about at this exact moment, but man, let me tell you, there are a lot of things in store. Some big changes coming down, and another project car is coming into the TueZday Garage. But more on that some other time. First off, a little housekeeping. The camera is going to be different from now on. Hopefully the sound and the picture is just as good as it always has been, but my freshman daughter has decided to take a photography class, and so being the cool dad that I am, I gave her my camera to use for her photography class. I am now on a GoPro. It's an older GoPro, so it doesn't have high-speed image stabilization. Hopefully I don't have a case of the shakes while I'm holding the camera. We'll be good to go, and you guys won't be too nauseated. The last couple months, I have been stockpiling lots of pieces and parts. There are so many projects that I have in mind, and so many projects that I have almost everything that I need to have on hand. But I'm missing like one little teeny piece here or a little piece there, and that's holding the entire project behind. However, there are a couple things that I've got right now on hand that I want to go ahead and install on the RBZ today. There's one thing that I've kind of always wanted to improve about the RBZ, and we're going to do that today. And the other, we are going to upgrade the timing. That's right, we are ditching the factory CAS and we are going with an aftermarket trigger kit, and I am freaking super stoked about it, man. Let's talk about what we're doing. I just finished cleaning the RBZ, man. She's looking great, man. She's looking great. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you will know that just a couple days ago, she officially hit 7,000 miles on the RB26 swap, which, dudes, I'm freaking so excited, man. I honestly don't think I've ever put that many miles on another Z that I've ever owned, because they've always just end up garage queens, man. Everything is looking good. Everything's looking fine. And still got to clean up the engine bay. Yeah, man, she's doing all right. She's getting good grades. Today, I need to take this front bumper off because I actually want to swap out the intercooler, man. This intercooler is an intercooler that I bought like freaking 9 or 10 years ago. I think I originally bought it for an SR20 swap into a S14. That never came to be, so this was just an intercooler that I happen to have on the shelf. It's just not my style. It's a cheap intercooler, and we're gonna upgrade the intercooler. Upgrade, kind of a downgrade. We'll talk about that later, but it's all an upgrade, man. It's all intentional, it's all on purpose, it's what I'm doing. The other thing is we are swapping out the CAS. We are going to be using the AutoDream trigger kit. This is just the plate for it. All the other pieces and parts are in the house. So yeah, looking forward to that, man. Whoa, I just thought of something. Man. Something that we could do right now. I got a Christmas present, man. I got a Christmas present I totally forgot that I had, and we could do that right now. A Tomei oil filter cap, man. So I've been running this OEM raggedy black one, which is all good. Like, so what? Oh yeah. I've always kind of shied away from metal oil caps simply because you freaking burn your hand, man. If like you're stuck on the side of the road and you need to take the cap off while the engine's hot, you're probably gonna roast your fingers off. All right, here we go. So it's gonna end up being a little crooked. Okay, I can get it even Steven. Yeah, okay, we can get it like that, which is all cool. It sits up a little high. I wonder, man. Let's see here. Let's see what's going on. Make sure nothing crazy, no funny business is happening. Uh-oh, that rib is right there. Uh-oh. See if we can get a piece of tape. Now, let's see if it ends up on the hood, which would really suck. No, it does not. All right, that's cool, man. I like that. I like it. Okay, let me get this bumper off. I really don't have anything to tide you over in the meantime, so I'll just be right back. All right, here we are. Everything is pulled apart, man, and it's looking great. Took the whole front end off. Everything's good to go. I just did a quick visual inspection because one thing about this build, and this is something that I want to go back and do eventually, is when I did my intercooler piping, it's not welded. It is the minimal amount of pieces possible, so it's 2 pieces on both sides, so there's couplers, and eventually I'd really like to reduce the amount of couplers. One thing thing I wanted to do while I took everything off was just kind of inspect all the couplers, make sure we're not looking weird or anything crazy is going on, nothing like that. I have no indications that I have any kind of boost leak or anything like that, but you know, it's always good to check these things. Just looking over all the other things, and this is the one and only time I can actually get to the coolant reservoir, so not the coolant reservoir, the window washer fluid. I'm gonna have to fill that up, and this is the best time to do that because I can't get to it any other way. It's all good and all fine, man. It is what it is. But just doing a general inspection of everything else, it looks fine. It looks great. Liking exactly what I see. Now, I bought this intercooler a long time ago. This is a tube and fin design. It has 14 tubes in it. It is a 4-inch thick core, and I think it's roughly, I don't know, maybe 31 by 12. It's got a 3-inch in, 3-inch out, or vice versa. I mean, it's been good. It's been fine. You know, one thing I've noticed when I'm driving this car is that when I shift, I do lose all the boost really quick. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but boost lag is like when you shift, it's like the difference to get back up to being spooled. It's not necessarily the lag from like no RPMs back to, like if you're just starting off on a line. It's not like, lag is not when, oh, my turbos start working at 4,000 RPMs. That's not lag. Lag is like how long it takes at the right condition to get back to boost again. And with the 4-inch core, I think it's overkill. Like I honestly think it's overkill. Again, I use this because I had it on hand. It's something I just had sitting in my storage of just junk, and it served the purpose when I needed it. I've decided to downgrade to a 3-inch thick core, and I'm also going with a bar and plate design, which happens to have 16 rows, so I'm gaining 2 rows. Overall, it's an 80 millimeter design. I think, if I've done my research correctly, the GTR, the RB26 GTR stock intercooler is 70 millimeters. It may be 80, but long story short, even like the upgraded HKS ones, those are 100 millimeters, which is basically 4 inches. I'm not ever planning on pushing 650 horsepower in this car. I'm just not. And a 4-inch intercooler is just overkill. It's overkill for my situation. So my upgrade may be considered a downgrade, but I guarantee I'm gonna have better response, less boost lag, better cooling efficiency. And one thing I've done more research on, and I think I'm hitting the nail on the head, there's the potential that because these two are so close together, heat soak can occur one to the other, right? Now, one benefit of them being so close is that this fan will actually pull air all the way through the intercooler, but at the same time, that fan is also pulling the hot air through a hot radiator and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, by reducing by 1 inch, I'm effectively gaining a 1/2 inch of space in between these two, which a 1/2 inch doesn't seem like much, but I don't know, maybe in the laws of thermodynamics, it'll be something good. I don't know. I'm gonna pull this intercooler off. I'm gonna bring the new one out. We'll show them side by side, and then we'll get the new one on. I'll do a little bit more of a cleanup and inspection, and then we'll move on to the trigger kit. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, man. No more intercooler. Thankfully, there's not too much gunk here in the radiator. Looks good. Everything looks fine. Here they are, man. One on top of the other. You could see they are exactly the same size. There is no difference in size. It's only the thickness. The one thing I am seeing is that the mounting points are different. Thankfully, I happen to have this piece of steel stuff laying around. We're just gonna go ahead and suspend it across the top, drill 2 new holes, and then that will be the new mounting points, so everything should be hunky-dory and good to go on that. It'll raise it up about 1/8 of an inch. Totally fine. I'm okay with that. Yeah, so that's good to go. So I need to go ahead and cut that, shape that, but let's take a look at these side by side. All right, looking at them side by side, you can see just the difference in the design. So this is the tube and fin design. This is the bar and plate design. What's the difference between the two? You can see the construction, right? This is like tubes and fins, and this is a bar and plate. The real difference comes with like inside. So if we look inside this intercooler, you can see there's the tubes at the end tanks. The tubes kind of stick out slightly. That is one big difference about the tube and fin design. The one thing I have researched and just confirmed looking at these two, even though this one's bigger, it is lighter. And generally, I think air passes through a tube and fin design better, because normally the tubes are they're either angled or they're curved, whereas these are flat. I mean, it has more air turbulence hitting it directly on. The argument also exists that inside inside here, because the tubes actually stick out into the end tank, there's actually turbulence of the air getting inside there. And I think if we open this dude up and we look inside here, you're gonna see at the bar and plate right there, the places where the air goes through is right there at the end. So there's no air that has to like jump over a lip or anything to get where it needs to go. There's arguments to both. Again, this is heavier, but there's more surface area going on. Air moves quicker in this one and it's lighter, you know, whatever. If we just wanna like take a step back and just be vain about it, the bar and plate design just looks a lot sexier on the car. Like this looks kind of like Mickey Mouse and cheap. This is gonna look awesome. And with our Sunday photo shoot, I mean, you know, like why not? This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. What I need to do is go ahead and get that metal cut, get it drilled, get everything ready for the mounting. I hate to keep cutting on you like this, but yeah, I'll just be back, man. And then we're gonna move forward. We'll get that trigger kit, man. And that's the exciting part, because it's not only hardware, it's also software. It's super easy. There's nothing to it, man. It's gonna be awesome. All right, got the brace made, and it just occurred to me I'm gonna need another set of holes for the new intercooler. Okay, I'll take care of that. Anyway, it's painted, it's drying, everything is good to go with that. I'm trying to think of something to do in the meantime while the paint dries, and probably I should eat dinner because I think it's like 6 o'clock. Definitely would love to eat some chips. I'm out of chips though. I got some salsa verde Doritos, but they're not the salts and vinegars, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, paint's still wet. I'm not gonna sit here and watch it dry. I'm gonna go eat. All right, man. I really like the way it looks, dude. Check this out. Oh, snap. Now that's what an IC is supposed to look like, man. I mean, again, it's not all about vanity. It's about functionality, but this looks cool. Yeah, it fits really well. You can see here's the bar that I made that goes across the top. Supports it really well. Everything's held in place. Everything's nice and tight. Everything is good to go. It's time to take out the crank angle sensor and put in the new trigger kit. It is very tricky to get this thing out. As you can see, I do not have a lot of room, and I even have less than you think because of the wiring that's right there. And it's always a pain in the butt to get that CAS out. So I'm gonna pull it out and get it ready to put the new piece back in. But before I do, here are the new pieces to the new kit. You have a plate, and this goes right where the CAS mounts. This will actually mount to the cam gear itself. It's got a notch so you know exactly where it's supposed to be. And if you look, you can see all these little metal dots all the way around, and there's one that's an extra dot right there. So there's 24 plus 1, so it's a 24 and 1 system. To sense this, you have this little sensor right here, and this little doodad will screw into that, and it will just sense as those little dots go flying past. Everything is plug and play. It's all wired up. This is through autodream.ca, CA for Canada. When I ordered this, they actually called me on the telephone like the olden days and said, hey, what model CAS do you have? Is it first gen, second gen? Is it the black plastic one? I told him, and he specifically wired this sensor to be exactly for what I need. So it's legitimately plug and play. All I have to do is go into the Haltech, change a couple settings, which they sent me, and then just make sure everything's grooving, and then it's done, man. It's just done. And it's just an enhancement. The thing about the CAS, the Nissan CAS, is that if I remember right, the actual disc inside the CAS has 360 little holes. And so it's counting all of those. And I think as the theory goes, when you're operating at high RPMs, it just can't keep up with counting all of them, and sometimes your timing will start to slip. By reducing the number down to 24, it's counting more accurately because there's not potential for them to get blurred together because it's going so fast. I think that's it in a nutshell. People say it's night and day, man. I can't wait to see the difference. Let me get all these things done that I just said I was gonna do. When I come back to you, we'll be on the laptop getting into the Haltech. All right, I told you guys a little fib. I am not on the Haltech yet. I really wanted to show you the way this looks now with the new sensor wheel. It looks freaking sweet, man. Check this out, dude. That looks freaking cool, man. Getting that CAS out was a pain in the butt. Like, I have no room. Eventually, I had to like loosen the support right here and then like push the cross member down just to get it out. The other option is to like raise the engine, and I'm not raising the engine. So the next step is to put this on, and this screws into the plate here. Once I get it all the way down to where it just touches, I back it out a half to a 3/4 of a turn, the lock nut thingy, and then everything is good to go. So let me get that installed, and I'll be back on the Haltech. Everything is fully installed, man. It looks pretty good. It looks so basic. It looks so neat and just tidy and everything. So that's installed. We are also currently online with the computer, and over here I have the settings that we need to change for the Haltech. We're actually gonna go into setup, main setup. All right. And let's see here. Okay, we're gonna go to trigger type up here, and we're gonna change this to a multi-tooth 24N1. And the trigger angle for an RB is 585. Angle offset table disabled, RPM filter at 5, and we're good. What if I go up in this? Okay, it can go up to 720 degrees, so we're good. That's right, because the cam actually turns twice for every once of the crank, so 720 would be, yeah, so okay, so it needs to turn 1 plus 225 degrees, and then that equals the angle, the right angle. So, okay, that's cool. Hit apply. Okay, let's reboot the ECU, which is it file? No. Tools, reboot ECU. Okay, I hear the fuel pump trigger. And yeah, so, all right, so now I'm supposed to start it up, check the timing on it, make sure it's at 20 degrees where it's supposed to be. And if not, then I need to adjust the trigger offset, and then we go from there. So let's fire it up, man. Neutral, and here we go. Whoops. Wrong direction. And it says, no, it does not want to start. Let's try again. Let's try again. I mean, all. Okay. No dice, man, so let me mess around with it and I'll be right back. All right, so I got an idea. Everything looks good. I mean, everything seems so straightforward here, but there's one thing, man. When I ordered, he called me and asked me what type of CIS I had. I told him. He said, well, depending on the type of CIS you have, I'm gonna flip a couple wires around. So I'm checking the wiring, and this is what I find. Looking here, you can see green, red, white, black, and over here, green, white, red, black. So the white and the red have been reversed. I'm betting those are the two wires that he reversed, and maybe he didn't need to. I'm gonna try matching all the colors to the other colors and see if that makes a difference. I have a feeling it will. Depinned, repinned. We're good to go now. I think we're gonna be good. Let's try it again. No. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna keep thinking. Straightforward, they said. Easy, they said. This should have been easy. It was just installing a small piece of hardware and changing some settings in a computer, but maybe I'm missing something that I'm not interpreting right, but I have no idea, man. I don't know. The owner of the company gave me his personal cell phone number. It's late right now. I don't know how many time zones ahead of me he is, but I'm gonna give him a call. Yeah, we'll call him in the morning. We'll get the RBC going again, man. That's all there is to it. So I'm gonna call it a night, and I'll see you in the morning. All right, new day, and I'm feeling pretty optimistic about today. I did send some emails last night. I actually even called the guy this morning, and he's not answering, he's not responding, but I'm waiting to hear back about the wiring. In the meantime, last time I did a little bit more research, and I actually found a Haltech video on how to set up a trigger kit. It was pretty straightforward. I need somebody to crank the engine while I'm checking the timing. Then I just do the math, and I put that in the Haltech, and bam, it should fire right up. It's just a math equation. Basically, the settings that I got from AutoDream, I guess they're not hard and fast, legit settings. So yeah, we gotta nug that out. Here's the rub. One, I can't do both things. I can't hold the timing light and observe it and start the car at the same time, so that's a problem. And two, because I was trying this last night, my battery is now down to about 11.2 volts, so we gotta make every crank count, and that's why I'm waiting for him to get here. Once he gets here, we should get this timing set, and then hopefully we're rocking and rolling. But again, the big question is this wiring correct? And if it's not, God forbid it caused a freaking problem, man. That would suck. But that's worst case scenario, and we're not gonna catastrophize. We're good to go. I'll be right back. Oh yeah, man, she is running, dude. And on the new trigger, man, freaking excellent. The guy that owns AutoDream actually ended up calling me. We talked through it all. We discussed some things. He gave me some tips on how to actually test the reluctor sensor itself to make sure that the right polarity and the voltage and everything was going through it. Tested it, everything was good. He talked about the potential of 2 wires getting turned around. It has to do with the negative and the positive polarity wires. So after doing some tests, we went ahead and swapped those around. However, by that time, I was down to like 9.9 volts. So Ivan came through and saved the day, man. He went, got a spare battery. We put jumper cables on. We were able to get it. So before switching that positive negative polarity thing around, I wasn't getting any signal through the timing light. Once we did, I was getting signal. And then after that, it was just a matter of simply adjusting a setting right here. Originally, it started at 585 degrees, eventually got to 570 degrees. Now she is at a strict 20 degrees timing. So everything is good to go. I'm still running on my test lead here, so I need to get rid of that. And dude, that's the man. Save the day. Yeah, let's go for a drive and then we'll call it a day. All right, guys, everything is back together, and man, it's so smooth. It starts up smooth, it revs smooth. I mean, check this out. Right back to where it needs to be, man. That's excellent. That's awesome. I'm actually gonna forego going out for a drive, but rest assured, we will do that at another time. The truth of the matter is that I shouldn't have even been working on this today, because today is Ivan's day, man. My plan today was to go over to his garage and work on his Z, and that's exactly what I intend to do right now, and I need to stop messing around with this car. But you all know the deal and why we ended up having to work on it today. So enough with the Z. It's time to move on. But man, she's running awesome. Shout out to autodream.ca. And I just want to say, like, the fact that they let me call them on a Saturday and sat on the phone and troubleshooted this thing with me, dude, the customer service is through the roof. Autodream.ca, that's the place to go, man. I'm really excited about this kit. So more to come, and my impressions of this in the future. If I get some of those little teeny parts that I'm waiting on, we got some cool projects coming. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for more TueZday Garage and all the other great things that come on this channel. And I'll talk to you later. Ciao a tutti and aloha. Bye-bye.